Philippe Lavie, president of KeyRoad Enterprises, to talk about building the sales pipeline. Philippe, when it comes to building a sales pipeline, could you explain a little bit about the 5 to 7 touchpoint campaign?
Sure. And thank you for the question. It's interesting, the intent of prospecting is to get access to the people you want to speak with. So therefore, in today's age, they have to be touched multiple times so that you will gain access to them. So there's really 3 very specific things I believe are necessary to get there. One is the repeatability of your touch point. 2 is the tenacity by which you need to go after it. 3rd is going to be the consistency that you need to be able to reach those very specific prospects. Additionally, there are multiple ways one can be touched, if you will, in today's age, whether it's letters, snail mail, email, social media, or telephone. So when you plan your prospecting, include all of those different touchpoint channels, if you will, and intermingle them with an email and a phone call and things of that sort. Finally, what I would suggest, you need to focus on your client needs and goals, very specifically. There would be one. And ultimately make sure you are not only respectful, but that you go after it with the intent of establishing a conversation, not just touching them, but touching them with the purpose of having a conversation.
Our next question, what are common flaws you see in salespeople's pipeline building process?
Well, I'm glad you asked the question because the answer is going to be very short. Expectation of immediate success is one of the big flaws in salespeople's expectations. 2, they thinking or their thought that they can gain access to targeted professionals. None of those needs to be expectation. You're going to work very hard at both planning for success over a longer period of time, hence tenacity, and gaining access to targeted professional, especially today when email or voicemail and other ways to reach professional are not as effective as a few months ago. So let's not expect immediate success, and let's make sure that we don't expect gaining access to a key professional by one mean. It's going to have to be multiple means over time.
If you had to identify the one most important thing to remember when it comes to building a pipeline, what would it be?
Thanks for asking the questions. The single one element that I would suggest is allocate the necessary time every day, every week, every month to prospect using proven approaches, yours, others you may have discovered through training, through books, or whatever, but it's got to be consistent and it has to be allocated every time. We call this sacred time, whether it's 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours a day, you need to allocate that time every day, every week, every month to get it done. There will be one. The second one, which is a little bit more understood, is the fact that you want to be focused specifically on your prospect needs, on their goals or their objectives. That's number 2, and therefore you need to do your homework. Number 3 is to establish your credibility and your expertise very quickly at the beginning of that conversation. And I think if you put those together and be respectful while being persistent in your prospecting, engagement, and campaign, I think you'll get a much higher return on your prospecting investment.